200 companies were sort of acknowledging that they were wrong, that looking for maximizing profit evidently was important, but was not the only thing that companies and organizations should do. And they should look for a higher purpose and bring some value back to communities, to their employers, to their suppliers, to the planet itself. And my generation, the generation of most of you, have not been doing a pretty good job of this, especially when we look at the planet and we look at all the lack of opportunities that many societies do bring. So that was something that we were bringing into business schools, into universities. How do we develop and help our students and our communities to develop a higher purpose? And today, the pandemic, again, has accelerated and made evident that this is something that we really need to do, and that Milton Friedman was partially wrong when he said that the only social responsibility of organization is to make more money. Or when someone else said the business of business, the only business of business is business. And there is something else behind that. And finally, the fourth big mega trend related to what I was mentioning about the World Economic Forum in January was that we're lacking leaders that can bring us to what many authors are calling today the big reset. Again, something that was talked in January at the World Economic Forum. We need a big reset as a society. We need to have a higher purpose, and we need to start thinking out of the box to move, combining this sustainability with the profitability of what we do. So this was again before the pandemic, and pandemic has brought this into higher evidence. Acceleration of digitalization. We see that in some geographies, pandemic has accelerated by 5, 7, 10 years, this digitalization movement. In some others with less resources, couple of years, 3 years out of that. So from the Tecnológico de Monterrey, from EGADE Business School, we were looking at all these trends for the last decade and thinking about how do we cope with this? How do we lead changes first in our education to impact our students, to be those who drive change in our societies? And we develop what we call our vision towards 2030 that reads quite strong in my opinion. Is leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship for human flourishment. So putting the person at the center of what we do, our students, our faculty, our communities, the firms we do serve, for flourishing, for development, for a higher purpose. And definitely following that, we were also working since the last decade in finding ways to not be looking at changes in our environment, but to become leaders, to make a revolution in education. And 2015, we were clear that the actual business models of most universities, business schools, were obsolete. And the learner of the future was not going to be interested in learning with us. And we had a big risk of becoming irrelevant. And I'm pretty sure that most of you have been feeling this tension and acting in this direction. So what we did was go around the world, visit some 35 countries, some 50 universities in a big road trip, talking to 6,000 companies, doing individual surveys, focus groups, and establish a commitment to grow quality and impact through innovation, doing things that all of us, I'm pretty sure, have been doing in the last few years, getting better students, getting better professors, more diversified, and getting better programs. Sounds simple. The trick here was, and how do we put all these pieces together? And we came up with this TEC21 model that we call an unprecedented educational revolution project. Again, looking at the world, talking to all our stakeholders, and developing a new model that would link not only knowledge, but also skills, and not only learning through traditional methodologies, but working on pedagogies that would bring much more value to the students. Remember that what we were looking was to transform our institution Not an easy thing. Tecnológico de Monterrey is almost 60,000 students, comprehensive university. And EGADE Business School is one of the largest in the region with some 2,000 students and 125 faculty members. So we were starting almost from scratch to change the way we were performing education. What for? Again, to transform the world. And we cannot do that as universities. I mean, we can, but the impact is probably lower than if we do this through the transformation of our graduates, of our stakeholders, of our community. So this is where we did embark in 2015 and started developing a model that was finally launched in August 2019 at both graduate and undergraduate level, of course, with differences because the audiences are not the same. Since then, we've been collecting a lot of interest from all over the world. And the International Finance Corporation wrote a nice case that, by the way, we're presenting tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mexico time, if you're interested. And getting, again, a lot of interest, a lot of research on the methodology, on the impact, even if we are only 1.5 years into the market, and getting the attention of the educational industry made us was pretty proud of that. And I'm not going to go through the academic model as a whole, but it has a few main characteristics that again help us a lot throughout the pandemic to take decisions to move the model quickly and to move in what we are today. Still in this part of the world, we are 100% online. We're developing a hybrid model. We're ready to go. But once the government in Mexico, who we serve our audiences, allow us to do. So the TEC21 model was designed as a challenge-based learning. So active methodologies learned by doing, flexibility and customization of learning paths. This is one of the advantages, of course, of digitalizing our operations, our mindset, our business model. And this is the era in which we are getting into hyper customization in our case of learning paths, in the case of any producer of any goods and services of their own product, and make a flexible offering, adding additional value to the audiences. Of course, inspiring professor being at the center of this, and this meaning getting into a world search of talent, combining research with teaching capabilities, getting immersion for all the faculty, the different methodologies, continuous updating and upgrading not only of their disciplinary roles, but also of their methodologies, and active related to TEC21 methodologies. And fourth, a big part of the model was what we call a 360 memorable experience for the students. So this is not only about getting the learning, this is also about experiencing a vibrant university or business school environment with different artistic, sports, mental health activities, and complete mentoring and follow-up, not only in the academic side, but also in the life side. So educating for life instead of educating necessarily for jobs. This is part of the proposal, and it's definitely a much more complex proposal that I can explain for the time. And we were launching that, as I mentioned before, in December 2019. We started at the business school in EGADE with TEC21 model, again, with the little differences between graduate and undergraduate. And we decided that we didn't have that many labs at a business school. Of course, we don't have financial labs and the Bloombergs and intelligence labs, but we are not that attractive in terms of labs of engineering or other science brands can do. So we decided to create our own labs, and we were surrounded by millions of labs. We decided and we did declare that our lab was the firms. And we created in our TEC21 model, in this challenge-based learning part of the model, an alliance today with more than 250 companies that do partner with our faculty to design and to deliver blocks in which students do learn whatever the topic, and at the same time, they solve a real corporate challenge inside organizations. Might this be large, medium size, sometimes small and medium size. It might be national challenges, regional challenges, or campus challenges. Don't forget that TEC21 we're serving 26 campuses in Mexico, and at the EGADE Business School, we're serving 3 campuses plus our online activity. And we were very happy launching this when we started learning about China and then Iran and then Italy and then I loved Spain, and pandemic came and got us ready to go, but needing to do a few adjustments. So the pandemic, we can confirm that accelerated our digital transformation as university, as business school, and created a couple of models that were needed. Mexico on March 12th, Tecnológico de Monterrey declared that we were moving online. At the EGADE Business School, next day we were online. At the business school, it took us 1 week. We gave 1 week free to students and then came back 100% online. And that means that since then, we've been teaching roughly 500,000 classes in all different degrees at the Tecnológico de Monterrey system. We have daily something like 1,400 sessions on Zoom and Canvas, which gives you an idea of the complexity of managing the system. And so far, almost no incidents has been reported. We started with, you remember, in March, the Zoom bombers, and it was pretty small, and 99.9% of what we do today has been working quite nicely. And of course, probably some students could feel that a digital way of delivering education is not the same, but it has been adding value and consistently the evaluation of the students of our faculty, the methodology, and the transformation into online channels has been really excellent. At EGADE, it was a bit easier. We were ready. We were working with online degrees. Our faculty was ready, was prepared. We did have the technology. We didn't need to go through specific training of most of the faculty. So we moved, as I mentioned before, in something like 24 hours. Of course, that took a lot of work in developing and adapting some courses and training faculty to do that into even a more ambitious pedagogical innovation model. We develop academic bodies to go along with those faculty with less experience. Even those faculty with more experience were shadowing others, and that worked very nicely in a peer-to-peer model. We migrated online this challenge-based learning model and worked it nice. This year we started the second generation in August of TEC21. And of course, we did everything online without quitting on the promises of the model, meaning we started with the same companies doing the same challenges and the same blocks that take part for 5 weeks. And we needed to reinvent executive education, as most of you. And that was tricky at the beginning, but today we are sort of catching up with the customers that we used to have 1 year ago, and also the revenue that we used to have a few months ago. On top of that, definitely we needed to take some sacrifices and do some technology investment and take some funds and some resources from other activities of the operation. So that was about transformation, and that was about what we were working throughout the pandemic. But before that, let me give you some more information about what this pedagogy and what this methodology means in my last 10 minutes. So we were moving from a defined study plan, normally 4 years on a grad degree or 1.5 to 2 years graduate degrees, to different study plans with, I could say, almost unlimited flexibility. So this hyper customization. In the undergrad, we move into 3 stages. So our students today don't get into a degree, let's say business administration. They get into an entry, which is called business studies. So they have like 3 semesters. They can understand explore, select, and declare the degree they will be pursuing. They start on the fourth semester, what we call the focus, starting again with the terminal degree, and they go into specialization. And throughout these 8 semesters, they can take business, they can take engineering, they can take humanistic studies, social studies, so make their own study plan and get definitely a lot of flexibility. We got, as I mentioned, from a degree as an entry to these 10 entries we offer at Tecnológico de Monterrey with 50 terminal focus areas. And when we started 2 years ago, business had like 9. Today, we're working on having some terminal, so degrees together with engineering. So a business engineering degree that, again, adds a lot of value to the students and combines some of the aspects in this impact of technology and business. We move from knowledge-based to skills and disciplinary knowledge. Not forgetting, of course, the importance of technical knowledge and disciplinary knowledge, but combining with the skills to make better learners and people more prepared for the challenges of industries today. We move from grading academic performance to evaluating skills domain. Again, without losing the importance and the focus on developing technical skills. We move from a teacher managing the classroom to teams of teachers and industry partners managing the same classroom, from the design, the delivery, again, diversifying the experience and adding different viewpoints to our students. We move from on-demand mentoring to full student success accompanying model, academic follow-up, and also personal flourishing domain follow-up. And at the EGADE move us to a big reinvention also of our portfolio. Not gonna stop here, but transforming our portfolio to one, take advantage of the opportunities that the changes and the exponentiality in industries were offering to us, but also to move into different delivery models. So today we have full online, we have blended, we have full face-to-face, we have shorter, more specialized program, and we're working on this edge between technology and the business without becoming fully STEM. We believe that this is something we have covered today by the School of Engineering, but definitely getting access to all the different impacts that technology, from data to artificial intelligence to fintech, is offering a business student. So our portfolio today is much more robust, and we are seeing also this in the raise of interest from our communities. Of course, as many of you did, we also thought in March, how can we support our communities? And in Mexico, the support is highly needed. We have a lot of informality, 70% of our economy. We have all these people that cannot do homework and need definitely to go out every day to bring food back home. And we have a lot of SMEs that were really in risk and are really in risk. And we estimate that more than 20 million of those will disappear or will disappear throughout the pandemic. So we put our more precious resource, which is our faculty, to help for free, of course, the advancement and the support and supporting all these SMEs. And we've been developing different initiatives through technology, apoyando tech or Ask the EGADE expert. And at some point also faculty got together and started a research project developing a decalogue for the Economic and Business Foundation of Mexico that, by the way, is quite exportable to other geographies. So it's a decalogue, 10 points in which we offer solutions from the public policy perspective to the business management perspective to the leadership perspective, advancing in the way that we are getting today. This also brought us a big transformation of our vision as EGADE and define our keep shaping omnipreneurial, not only startups, but from corporate entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, government entrepreneurship. So omnipreneurial leaders, remember what I was mentioning about how do we support the development of those leaders that we're able to change the way we live in better ways. So those leaders able to transform business for a better world. And this is an overview of a couple of things. First, the move in our educational model and what we're doing today, TEC 21st. And of course, you can find a lot of literature and even some research impact already produced on how this is developing a different model of education and a different student profile. And also wanted to share with you some of the things, the risk and the opportunities that we have seen through the pandemic. And that, of course, accelerated things that we were doing. And with this, I believe I'm done with my presentation on the half an hour that the Eduniversal organization gave me, and ready for some questions from the audience. So thank you very much, and fully available to share with you our experience, what worked, what is needing some revamp here and there, and very happy to share EGADE and Tecnológico de Monterrey experience. So thank you very much, and ready for questions.
Let's give a big round of applause to Dr. Ignacio de la Vega. Thank you very much, Dr. Ignacio, for your wonderful speech. Now, dear participants, if you have questions, please use the option raise hand.